Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to cimnanya, and thank you all so much for the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. Looks like this is F around season and some people are finding out. And this, you all already know what it looks like when Black women say that you see these people that I am supporting, I am no longer supporting them. And I see a lot of people also saying that it's a no-no for Black women going back to buy Starbucks and do all that. Let them do whatever they want. Let them, some are saying, save your money. I mean, let them, if is it your money? It is not your money. Let them buy what they want. Let them do what they want. It's not your problem, right? They've been supporting everybody all their lives, and the people think that everything is all joke. That Black people do not need help. That is what they feel about Black people. You all do not need help because you have got all the help you need. So when they withdraw from their support, do not come back calling them. And this goes to white women, goes to Arabics, Palestinians, and more. All of you that have been out there, like, doing too much, being out of order, and all that. I hope you all learn from your mistake because some of you think that you know better than them. Now, Black people are going to fight for themselves and fight for others, but everybody choose their own fight because they think, do we have to fight for them? I mean, let them do their thing while we do our thing. And for those coming out with blue bracelet, and it's a sign of solidarity, keep that solidarity and go and fix your own community. Let's get into this video.
I made a video yesterday saying, white ladies, this is why Black women picked the bear over us. And like clockwork in my comments, you can't call out white ladies without also calling out the Latino men who voted for Trump. Yes, I can. Unless you're gonna address the entire problem, don't call out white women. And then I said, I don't have to call you out because you're in my comments proving their point. And now it's comment not available.
Activists fuck around and find out what happens when Black American people withdraw their stitching my own video because a bad bitch is never wrong. A bad bitch is never wrong. I'm like the fucking Chicago Bulls in the 1996 season. I'm on a run. If you have the attention span that I have, basically what I said in that video is that foreign people of color who immigrate to America and catch themselves trying to be wannabe white supremacists and cock-sucking masses 3-inch pink dick thinking that it's doing something for them, fuck around and find out what happens when Black American people withdraw their support for your cause. And in the wake of the 2024 US presidential election results, I'm watching that happen in live time. And I'm sorry, I'm enjoying it. I'm eating it up. Black American people who haven't purchased Starbucks or McDonald's in over a year are basically crashing the mobile apps for both of those franchises right now with how much they're repurchasing those items in the wake of the exit polls of who did and did not vote for Kamala Harris in the 2024 election. The Starbucks app crashed, I think, because so many people were just using it out of nowhere. Like all at once, it crashed. You see what happens? You see? And please do not come in my comments with your bullshit about this is not the time for that and you guys were never there for us anyway and we all need to come together now because now this really impacts all of us. The time to come together was in that motherfucking voting booth, little bitch. That was the time to come together. And you didn't want to do that because Kamala Harris is Black and is also a woman. Okay, the time to come together was when Kamala Harris, after meeting with Netanyahu, released a press statement stating that the loss of life in Palestine and in Gaza is completely and utterly unacceptable. And we are negotiating for a ceasefire and bucking up against even what Biden himself said he would do. That was the time to come together for that candidate. Instead, you either voted for stupid ass Jill Stein, who took your vote and your money and ran off into the sunset, or you voted for Trump, who in his first campaign, post-election speech, is saying the first thing he's going to do is round up Hamas supporters? You know that means you, right? Do you know that means you? Do you know you have 30 minutes? A bad bitch is never wrong. A bad bitch with a good synthetic beauty supply helmet wig is never wrong. And I am that bad bitch on today. Praise God. Also, fuck them ugly ass, stupid ass, fugazi ass, jabroni ass, blue bracelets of solidarity. That's that guilt eating you up, isn't it? No, fuck them blue bracelets. Shove it up your ass so far that it comes out your fucking throat. Fuck that. How about, forget the blue bracelet. Can you write me a check with some green money? Can you do that? That would be far more useful and helpful in the face of what is going to be some really costly tariffs and increased taxes on our goods and things like that? Can you do that instead? If not, keep your stupid ass blue bracelet. For all I know, that could just mean that you're quietly supporting Blue Lives Matter. Shut up. We needed the support in the booth. And in the booth, the only people who got active were Black people and surprisingly Jewish people. So shout out to Jewish people also as well. It bears repeating, and foreign people who come to America refuse to accept this fact. Black people and white people will be at each other's throats all the live long day until a foreign non-English speaking person walks in the room, and then all that shit goes out the fucking window. All of it. I promise you. As a foreign-born person myself, who is now a naturalized citizen, who was born to people who have been in America lawfully all these years, just in case anyone is looking for me. My father was a U.S. citizen. My mom was a lawful permanent resident prior to becoming a U.S. citizen. Ice, go suck your ass, mother. But as a foreigner myself, I've seen it firsthand and I've experienced it firsthand. Black and white people in this country have an understanding of one another. They have a delicate equilibrium with one another, okay? And again, at each other's throats, at each other's necks, threatening this, that, and the next until a non-English speaking foreign person walks in the room. And if you don't believe me, if you dare to disagree with a bad bitch with a law degree in her helmet wig, I want you to take a long look back at how the country came together in the wake of the September 11th terrorist attacks. 9/11 really set some shit off for the entire world, Americans in particular, okay? Black and white people, prior to September 11th, 2001, black and white people were at each other's throats over the George Bush election, the election between Bush and Gore and those missing Florida ballots, okay? I was a kid in elementary school, but I remember this, and I'm 32 years old now, so I know some of my fellow slightly older millennials definitely remember this for sure. Black and white people were at each other's throats up until the September 11th attacks happened. And you know what happened? We closed ranks. Or excuse me, black American people and white American people closed ranks so fucking quickly. Oh my God. And that's exactly what's happening now. So fucking around and finding out is something I do not recommend for everyone because not everyone can handle it. Black American people and people of African descent in general are accustomed to living under white supremacy and colonialism and having to survive nonetheless and eke out a little itty bitty tiny whiff of a life. We're accustomed to that. The rest of y'all, I don't know what you guys are going to do, but we'll be fine. Okay, you guys can go take them blue bracelets and all them marches and protests and stuff. I ain't doing it. Because when it came down to it, when it really mattered was in that voting booth. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear about how they're so bad and how both parties were bad. Excuses, 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 excuses. So tell me how bad Trump is now compared to Harris and Biden. Tell me quickly. And that's another thing. You infighting, and that's the last thing I'm going to say about this today. You infighting liberals and infighting leftists and shit like that. You have a very skewed perception of the world. This is where your ivory towered theory and rhetoric falls by the wayside. Because the other side, our enemies, you know what they unite on? Hate and bigotry, but they unite. The rest of us over here have this false perception that everything in the world is supposed to be perfect, so that when we are trying to implement certain tasks and statutes and legislations, we have to have unanimous consensus. It has to be done perfectly, flawlessly. Our elected officials, our notable figures can be without flaw of any kind. Our legislation and our policies have to be without any flaw of any kind, are not allowed to have nuance, and are not allowed to take into account historical context, modern day context, gender and race context. We're not allowed to do those things. And that is how we failed. Too much infighting, too much disagreement. And the other side, by comparison, looks like the staid, not conservative necessarily, but predictable and stable option. Because at least they agree on their hate and bigotry. What exactly do Democrats agree on? I personally think it's time for some new Democratic leadership. As David Hogg on Twitter said, you know, we have corporate oligarchy masquerading as a party. I personally think we need to do away with some of these East Coast, West Coast Democrats who are caught up in theory and liberalism and never ever listen to their base. They always shit on their base in every single way possible. And we need to start putting people at the top who are like from the heartland of America. Like I live in the Midwest, and I live in the Rust Belt that these liberals call the Midwest, we need to start putting more people like us at the top and in those leadership positions so we can become the establishment class. Because y'all ivory-towered, Ivy League attending, born into generational intellectuals and shit. You may not be born into generational wealth, but they were born into generational intellectuals. Y'all argue too much. Things have to be far too perfect. Kamala was the perfect candidate. Jesus was perfect. And you know what they did to his ass? Think! But my point still stands. Foreign people of color coming to America, fuck around and find out exactly what the fuck happens when Black American people tell you to go fuck yourself. And now look at us.
How fucking insensitive it is that every single video on my For You page is posted by somebody on their smartphone sitting in America in the comfort of their home.
Worried about the rights that they're going to lose under a Donald Trump presidency? Where are you getting at?
With an education and a job and whatever else.
Do you think every single person in America has an education, a job, or whatever else?
Talking about losing their fucking rights when there's women overseas who are covered head to toe, not by choice, who have no vote, who have no phone, who have no friends, who can't leave the house, who can't go to school, who can't go to work.
That's also present in America. Love, two things can be true at once. How do you expect Americans to help any other country when we go into that as well? Huh?
And everyone here is talking about losing their fucking rights.
Yes, because rights are going to be lost in America under Donald Duck. Huh?
And it's not even a political thing. It's
So what is it? It kills me when people say it's not even political and then they talk about political things. Huh?
so fucking insensitive and ridiculous. And the fact that they're getting that because of TikTok that told them they're going to lose their rights. If you
Oh, okay. So you don't think rights are actually going to be lost in America? Went so far left that you went right.
You did 5 seconds of research, you don't even have to fuck with Trump. If you did 5 seconds of fucking research, you would know that's not true.
But my question is, do you fuck with Trump? Because if you actually did 5 seconds of research, you would know that rights have been lost because of Donald Trump already. And Donald Trump getting in power again will only make that worse. I really want to know what sources told you that rights will not be lost or have not been lost in America. There are some rights that have never been given in America. So please tell me what research you did to say that rights aren't going to be lost.
If the 4 years that he was president didn't prove that already to you.
The 4 years did prove that, love. But you saying that it's not political kind of proves that you don't fully follow politics to know that.
That you trust some fucking TikTok bullshit that, oh, my rights. First of all, abortion is state by state.
And there are some states that have completely made it fucking illegal. So therefore rights have been lost. Rights that were previously fucking there. Huh?
That happened when Trump wasn't even here. Okay.
So, let's do those 5 seconds of research to see how abortion rights were lost. Right? The Supreme Court overturned those rights. And who added the justices on the Supreme Court that did that? It wasn't Biden, by the way.
Nothing to do with president.
So a president does appoint justices to the Supreme Court, right? And then the Senate approves them. So Obama tried to add someone to the Supreme Court and the Senate denied it. So Trump added more, right? So yes, Donald Trump did overturn Roe v. Wade.
Even if Kamala.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Who the fuck are we talking about? Who is Kamala?
Walked into the office today as president, nothing would change.
I feel like if I gave you a textbook so that you could study American government, you still wouldn't understand it.
Because it's nothing to do with them, regardless of the brainwash that you've been hearing.
I'm gonna keep going back to that 5 seconds of research. Please, please, please. Can you do it yourself? Thank you.
If you did 3 seconds of genuine fucking research and not on TikTok.
Oh, I got the mirror for you.
You would know that. But that's not even the point. Don't even get me started on the actual political side of this.
So what side are you fucking talking about? You're talking about politics, but you're not on the political side. Huh?
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, I got the mirror for you.
About losing your fucking rights. Simply because it's the most insensitive and ridiculous thing that somebody could be posting. You're sitting crying in your fucking car on your way to fucking work about losing your fucking rights.
So, you stated how Donald Trump was president before. During those 4 years, immigrant and refugee rights were lost, LGBTQ plus rights were lost, reproductive rights were lost, voter rights were lost, environmental protections were reversed, and also civil rights protections. So I think it is very valid for people to be crying in their fucking car, scared of another Donald Trump presidency. Love.
Women like that are living overseas.
And how do you expect us to help those women overseas if we lose our rights also? Are we supposed to sit there and allow it to happen, and then once it does happen, then we sit and cry too? How is that beneficial? Also, in those 3 seconds of research that you do, can you please research intersectionality, Bookie Butt?
Actually suffering because it's an actual reality for them.
Love, it is the actual reality for Americans as well, love. There is a G-side that is happening in America and has been happening for hundreds of years. Just because you are blind to it does not mean it does not exist.
And you're talking about you care about fucking women?
You're saying you care about women, but you don't care about the woman crying in America.
Fucking stupid. Like, actually, shut the fuck up.
Oh, I got the mirror for you.
To the black people who are making videos professing that they no longer support Palestine, that they could care less now, that they're going back to Starbucks because some Arab Americans, some Muslim Americans decided to either abstain from voting for Kamala, voted third party, or overtly supported Donald Trump. And you're now taking that, right, and placing it on a Palestinian child who has been turned into ash, or a Palestinian woman or man who has been massacred. You sound stupid, right? You're simply demonstrating that you never had any empathy, you never had any critical thinking skills, and you never really had any common sense. Because what you're doing would essentially be like somebody saying, well, you know, this one time I was robbed by a black guy in New York, and therefore I don't really care about black lives globally. I don't care about black lives in this country. I don't care about black lives in the Congo. I don't care about black lives in Sudan. I don't care about black lives in Compton because this one time in 1982, one singular black person did something to me or whatever. You have now turned a genocide into a monolithic thing based on what some Americans did. And really those Americans did that, you know, they tried to make a calculus based on their moral fortitude, and you can agree or disagree, but that still ultimately has nothing to do with the needs of people in Gaza or Lebanon. It is deeply, deeply ignorant. And honestly, it's just white supremacy. Like, what you're demonstrating are principles of selfishness and lack of empathy that are rooted in white supremacy, right? And you're not even doing the same thing for white people. I don't see you showing up in the same ways to be like, oh, we're no longer supporting this and that and the third.
So this is all I got from this video, and the fact that some people doesn't even know what is happening. Like I've been saying this, the fact that people don't even know what is happening around them when it comes to politics, it's really very sickening, you know. And why is somebody not worried about his or her right being taken away? I mean, why would somebody think it's something to joke around, that it's something people shouldn't cry about? Are you okay? I know some people just only want to get married and just live there, like, you know, stay back in their husband's house and all that. They don't have anything to add to the society or anything to give out and all that. But man, this particular one is just a sick mindset. For her to say that, why are you crying over your right being taken away? Like, your right should not be taken away from you. That is why you are human, right? And if you think there is nothing wrong with somebody's right being taken away, you are also part of the problem. You are not anything different from the person you voted for. Now, it's quite sad that she doesn't know. It's just that I refuse to bring those videos here, that a lot of white women have lost their lives. I know it's happening also in Michael, but a lot of white women lost their lives because they had complications while giving birth, and the only thing to help them out was probably not really during birth, before the birth, like they already had complications that are, it's either they give them something to help the baby come out, or they found out from the onset that this is not going to work. It might probably unalive the woman and all that, and they refuse to help out or do something. So I will tell you, in Texas, I know it's a lot that if anything like that happens, probably your license will be taken away. So when it comes to things like that, they won't listen to you. So whatever happens to you happens to you. I also remember a woman that I think she has to travel down to Mexico, when she was having complications, and they needed to they refused. And she ended up traveling. I mean, the complication was so bad that she traveled out of so I think she went to Mexico or something, or another state. And before she got there, and she lost the baby, and she has to also transport the baby back to her own state. I mean, I have seen so many horrible states, and it is very, very sad that somebody will sit down there and justify the reason why somebody's right should be taken away from her. I mean, that is just very sick, And to my sister that spoke about, how when Black women take away their support from, that is on point. She is on point. Black people can elevate you. That is something that I have known about them. Black people can make you, I would say they are star makers, They can do anything. They will do anything for you to make sure they see you at the top. But once they withdraw their support from you, that is the end of it. Nothing will ever make them come back to it. And for all these people that has been running their mouths, starting from, from Palestinian Arabs and all that, you all do not even know what is going on. And I cannot help you to understand what is going on. But once that Black people say they are not coming out, they will not come out, because you all have been doing too much. When I say you all have been doing too much, you all have been doing too much, and we're out of order recently. And the fact that you all did not also see the reason why they decided to do what they do was because they needed to save you people too. And you all thought it was all jokes and decided to do what you wanted. And now you all are talking about coming together. How do you, including white women, how do you want to come together? How do you people want to come together? Because I need to make this make sense. Make this make sense. Where do you want to start to come together? Where is the togetherness happening? Because the reality is that you all do not even want anything togetherness. You always still go out and do what you want. I mean, I am sure that this election is kind of predicted that white women and men were also going to do something like this. And it also ended up the way they said it. I mean, you all can do better. And save your blue bracelet and save your togetherness. Go and work with your own community. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.